Mr. President, President Biden announced his vague, still unwritten mandate for the vaccine just almost a month ago. He said then, at the time of his announcement, that his patience was wearing thin. Those are his words, not mine. Yet oddly, President Biden's administration is now in no particular rush to implement the rule. So almost a month has now elapsed, but there's still no rule, and therefore no implementation of the rule. Perhaps President Biden and those who work with him are realizing what countless Americans already know, that the mandate was not well thought out. First, neither the President of the United States specifically nor the federal government generally has the authority to issue a sweeping vaccine mandate of this nature. The Constitution doesn't empower the federal government, and certainly not the President individually, acting in isolation with the right, the authority, the power to broadly dictate personal medical decisions for all Americans, with the stroke of the executive pen. I spoke earlier this week, and I also spoke last week, about individuals with religious, moral, and medical reasons to forego vaccination. The President's mandate ignores their concerns and their rights. And much of corporate America is already starting to fire on vaccinated workers, despite the legitimate religious, moral, or health concerns that those workers might have. Some are even being charged fees for being married to an unvaccinated spouse. It was not just their decisions, but that of their spouses that are causing them to confront adverse action from their employer, all as a result of this mandate, a mandate which doesn't yet exist, even though time was of the essence a month ago when it was issued. There's still no rule and still nothing to enforce. But people are starting to enforce what they think will be in the rule if and when it ever does get promulgated. Now, in recent days, I've heard from over 200 Utahns who are at risk of losing their jobs due to this mandate. And they're scared of becoming not just unemployed, but unemployable. Unemployable, second-class outcasts due to the President's order. Have we lost compassion? Have we lost all reason? Troublingly, it seems that these mandates aren't based in reason. The mandate completely ignores the millions of Americans who have previously contracted and recovered from COVID-19. These people have antibodies against the virus, and in other countries where significant research on natural immunity has been conducted, the results are compelling. A study conducted in Italy shows that natural immunity is more effective than vaccines at reducing risk of future infection. Another study of 500,000 people in Denmark has shown that natural immunity provides significant, lasting protection against infection. Finally, a study from 3 separate hospitals in Israel found that natural immunity from a previous COVID infection was, quote, 27 times more effective than vaccinated immunity in preventing symptomatic infections, close quote. But the President's mandate announcement makes no mention of natural immunity, no mention whatsoever. Our entire national health apparatus seems to disregard the significant protection individuals have if they've previously had and recovered from COVID. Now, I believe the vaccines are generally safe and effective. I've been vaccinated. Every member of my family has been vaccinated with my encouragement. I see these vaccines as a miracle, one that's helping to protect millions and millions of Americans, hundreds of millions of Americans for that matter. But I also recognize that millions of Americans are already protected by their natural defenses because they contracted COVID before the vaccines were available in many instances, and they have recovered and therefore have natural immunity. The science shows that this immunity is strong, that it's effective, and that it's widespread in America. So I today am offering a bill that would require federal agencies to recognize, accept, truthfully characterize, and include natural immunity in any regulation. This bill does not say that vaccines are bad or unhelpful. It merely asks the federal government to respect widely available science. I'm glad to be joined in this effort by Senators Braun, Tuberville, and Sullivan as co-sponsors. The bill would allow us to keep Americans employed and help us beat the pandemic in a smart way, in a reasoned, rational way, in a compassionate way. Now, I believe, in fact, I'm quite confident that the mandate in its entirety will be struck down as unconstitutional, as having been issued outside the authority of the President of the United States. This simple bill wouldn't undo the whole thing, as I believe that the courts are certain ultimately to do. This simple bill is narrow, and it would simply give peace of mind to Americans and employers by recognizing and upholding evidence-based realities concerning our natural defense to COVID. It's a common sense proposal, and I urge my colleagues to support it.